Hello and welcome to the Big Match Theory. I'm Mangesh. I'm a United fan, and as we all know, my club is in trouble right now. But I don't want to talk about the manager or his formations or tactics, or even the players for that matter. I just want to address how badly this whole situation, right from Amorim's appointment, how badly this has been handled by the Ineos right from the beginning. So I've jotted a few points, and let me start from the beginning. We signed Ruben Amorim in October 2024, and at the time, Erik ten Hag was the manager. Erik ten Hag got sacked around that time, and the replacement was Ruben Amorim. Now the issue with that, Erik ten Hag shouldn't have been at the club last season. We should have sacked him in 2024 at the end of 23-24, because in his second season, United's form was atrocious. We are playing so badly, and it's funny I'm saying it right now, because United fans would take that 8th position right now in a heartbeat. But yeah, Erik ten Hag continued his tenure, and maybe the club's management or the people from Ineos, they thought since he won the FA Cup, he deserved one more chance. But yeah, it was a bad decision, and once he got sacked in October, he appointed Ruben Amorim. Now, I'm going to be very honest. I was very happy about Amorim's signing, and I'm sure most of our fan base was, because for the first time ever, or probably for the first time in a long time, we got someone who was on his way up. Amorim was this bright new manager. He is charismatic, and he reminded everyone a bit of Jose Mourinho. I'm not comparing both the managers. Both are completely different managers, but he had that charisma about him. He had that aura about him, and his performances for Sporting Lisbon, they were absolutely fantastic. Sporting won their first Portuguese league for the first time in 17 years. And even when his side faced Man City last season, in that 4-1 game, they were absolutely fantastic. They were really good. So I can understand why the club wanted to sign Amorim, or why everyone was happy at his appointment. But there was lot of things were brewing in the background, and I will not say that we did not know this, but we did not pay too much attention to it. So around that time, United's sporting director at the time, Dan Ashworth, he was sacked. Now Dan Ashworth is someone with plenty of experience at big clubs like Newcastle or even Brighton for that matter. And United waited for him to sign for about 5 months, and he was gone within 5 months. But one of the reasons of his departure was that Dan Ashworth felt at the time that United did not have a structure in place to have someone like Ruben Amorim. So his view was that although the manager is very talented, he's not suited for the club, and in order to sign him, the club will have to change a lot of things. And Dan Ashworth recommended a few other managers with Premier League experience, like Thomas Frank. But interestingly, Liverpool used the same reason not to hire Amorim as Jurgen Klopp's replacement. They instead went for Arne Slot, and we know how it turned out. And the reasoning behind, or the assessment, Liverpool's assessment of Amorim was that if we sign him, we will have to change a lot of things. And as Abhishek mentions a lot of times, nowadays, whatever formation the first team uses, that formation, the same formation is used at the youth level, at under 16s or under 18s for the reserves. And under Liverpool, under Jurgen Klopp, they more often than not they played with three-man midfield. And to switch from the three-man midfield to two-man midfield or 3-4-3, it was going to take a lot of effort. They needed to sign a lot of new players. The structural change that needed to happen, that was absolutely huge. So Liverpool decided against him. We did not. And that change turned out to be too big for United. And I just want to touch upon Ruben Amorim's formation 3-4-3, because in last 60 years of English football, only one manager has won the league while playing back three, and that manager is Antonio Conte. But even Antonio Conte in 2017 for Chelsea, or 2016-17 for Chelsea, he did not start with three-man defense. He started with back four, and his Chelsea team took a battering against Arsenal, and he decided to switch to back three in the second half of that game, and he was successful with that. Chelsea were on the great run, and eventually they won the league. But what I want to highlight is the midfield two of Antonio Conte were two absolute tanks. He had Nemanja Matic, who was one of the best holding midfielders at the time, and he had N'Golo Kante. N'Golo bloody Kante. We are talking about a player who's regarded as probably the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League, and that's a fair argument. He's bloody good. He's that good. The next season he went on to win the World Cup for France, and he was quite instrumental in France's success. So we are talking about two players who are with great mobility and who could control games. This United team has only one player that fits their profile. I'm not saying the player is as good as them, but at least Manuel Ugarte fits the profile. Apart from that, we don't have any other midfielder. Bruno Fernandes he cannot play in that two-man midfield. Another essential part of Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3 are his wing-backs. So at Sporting Lisbon, his two wing-backs, Catmao and Nuno Santos, they scored 9 goals between them and made 13 assists. So he relies heavily on the wing-backs for his creativity. At United, we have none. We have fullbacks who have played in four-man defense, be it Dalot, Mazraoui. Shaw is finished. Shaw cannot play at level that high. And even Dorgu at Lecce, he played in four-man defense instead of three. He's not a wing-back. He's a traditional fullback. So I am very happy with Cunha's signing or Mbeumo's signing, but it seems United board should have prioritized 4 players who were absolutely essential for Amorim's system, 2 centre midfielders and 2 wing backs. We have signed none. And as I said, I'm very happy that we have signed Cunha and Mbeumo because they are really good players. They have made instant impact. But for Amorim's system to function properly, maybe we should have prioritized other players. Maybe we should have prioritized 2 midfielders and 2 wing backs. And we did not do that. Now, when you are making such a big reset, when you are making such a big change, it's absolutely mandatory for the club or the management to give the manager whatever the fuck he wants. And that did not happen. And we are struggling now. And that's hardly a surprise because the club has foundational issues. So we can't be the Manchester United of old right away. We are not going to be Manchester United of Alex Ferguson anytime soon. We can't be as functional as City and Liverpool right away. It will not happen. City signed your Begristain and Soriano in 2012. That was 4 years before signing Pep Guardiola. And Pep has worked with these two guys at Barcelona. So they had a proper planning. They had 7-year, 8-year plan. United have none. Liverpool had Michael Edwards. I don't know if he's still at the club, but he was instrumental in getting Klopp. And their transition from Klopp to Slot is absolutely fantastic. It's seamless. And we do not have that in place. We simply do not have that in place. And forget about Liverpool or Newcastle. Forget about Liverpool or Man City. I can't believe I'm saying this, but probably what we need to do, it at least be a good Bournemouth or Brighton first. It hurts me to say that, but that is absolutely mandatory. We cannot reach those heights right away. It is going to take some time. And we have two guys in Wilcox and Omar Barada. Both of them have worked at Man City. And I mean, both of them have worked at a successful club. They have both worked in a proper structure. But I'm not sure if they realize what a huge rebuild it is going to be at United. And that concerns me more. The people who are in charge of the club, if they don't understand the extent of the rot that has been set by Glazers, it's a huge issue. It's a sign of concern. And you can blame Ruben Amorim all you want. And of course, there is some truth in that. But the structural and foundational issues we have, they are absolutely huge. And one of our problems is we also suck with short-term appointments. So if the rebuild is going to be so huge, maybe, it is just maybe, and as I said, I'm just a moron on the internet, maybe what they could have done is to hire a good short-term replacement. Someone like Thomas Tuchel who gets the team running right away. We similarly missed the trick in 2021-22 when Solskjaer resigned. And we signed Ralph Rangnick, who is not much of a coach. His strength lies with his management skills. But at the same time, Antonio Conte was available. Again, Conte is someone who gets you result right away. Both Conte and Tuchel, they will give you results, and probably in a season or two, they would leave because they will fall out with someone. And maybe after that, once you have some groundwork done for you, maybe you can go for a big project like Ruben Amorim, or in City's case, it was Pep Guardiola. Maybe they could have done that. I mean, I don't know, but the decision making at United has been below par. It's been absolutely atrocious. The thing I fear right now is what happens if Amorim is sacked, or what if he decides to leave? Because the next 7 games include games against Chelsea, Liverpool, and even Sunderland seems like a daunting task now. What happens if we win, or if we get only 7 points out of those 7 games? And if the manager leaves, who do we sign? Who would want to touch this club with a barge pole? See, you can blame Amorim all you want, or his tactics, or his systems, or even players, and there is some truth in it. I'm not saying there isn't. But the real issue at United are the decision makers in charge of the club. Unless they get their act together, nothing is going to change. And because if they don't, it's going to be yet another Groundhog Day. So yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you feel in the comments, and like, subscribe, and give your honest feedback. Bye.